Father, I said till death do us part. I want to mean it with all of my heart. Help me to love you more than I love her. Then I know I can love her more than anyone else. And bring her in your presence today. Make her what you want her to be. I pray to hear her heart. I pray she'll love you more. I pray.
Let's get started. Looks like people are finally starting to come in. Good morning.
Will bring you glory.
You guys can hear that? Is that loud?
I pray.
I think that was loud enough for you guys to hear. Wait. Can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Let me know if... Okay, so maybe it doesn't work with music on. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so, I guess it doesn't work with music on. Could hear you, Brian, could hear you, but very low. Okay, I'll figure it out. Anyway, let's just get started. I don't really want to talk about my music and stuff, but as long as you guys can hear me, that's good. But, I mean, this song was by John Waller, Marriage Prayer. Anyway, okay, so I'll go over the yappers, and then I'm going to go over my watch. Can you make the music quieter on your end? Yeah, I'll figure it out. I just didn't know that was gonna make a difference. Anyway, okay, so on Gap we have really only two main ones that I am interested in. So I'm gonna go over actually a couple, three I think. I'll go over VVPR and why I'm not really interested in this one. So if you look at the daily, this has kind of been like an uptrend so far. It's kind of been a slow mover, right? You know, it's had like a decent move here, but you know, all this is, if you look at it, look how choppy and how messy this is. This is not something that I want to day trade at all. And then, you know, pull back and then been a slow, steady grind up basically the whole time. Hey, Felix, what's up, man? How you doing? This is my friend from church, so it's good to see him, man. Anyway, so yeah, VVPR, it's, you know, finally broke out pre-market. I don't really like breakouts pre-market, just because they can kind of do funky stuff. But either way, I'm not looking for this really to trade, because this is like a slow mover. It's probably gonna keep going to maybe like $20. And it's not really a day trade, you know. This would be something I would swing long, but yeah, so that's why I don't really care much about it. SNMP, this one obviously has come from like 30 cents or something, 40 cents. So this is just a pretty trashy penny stock. However, you know, they are on like delisting news. They got to keep their stock above $1. Oh wow, 1650s on VVPR. That's nuts. That's a full-on squeeze mode. Maybe this could turn into a day trade. If this goes to $20, I would short it. SNMP. Okay, so you know, this is a really low float. If you look at the daily, there's really no resistance. You know, it's got a top here at 64, which is clearly way over. If you keep going further back, you know, your only real volume day. Oh, again, never mind. This is still 4 million. Yeah, so there's really no volume anywhere. So this can kind of do whatever it wants. But the only trade I see, just because this would just mean it's super extended and it's sort of in the dailies, if we get to like $2. So if we push to $2, then yes, I would take that. But right here where it is now, pre-market, you know, with 25 million volume, low float, no daily resistance. Sure, it may be it's actually not even a fundamentally bad company. They don't even have any yeah, they don't even have any warrants or anything, or I don't think they even have an ATM. So yeah, this is just not a good trade pre-market. So just let it, kind of what we did on Age yesterday, how we traded it. You know, you can kind of dabble in maybe on the front side, and then once it confirms backside, when, you know, yesterday we got the huge parabolic into 4, you know, out of the open, and then we started to scale in, like I'm saying everybody in the room. So, and that ended up being a very solid trade on that. It was actually one of my best trades, dollar wise. So then the other one is MVIS and MDGS, similar setups. I'll go over MVIS first. So you can see, you know, this one, you know, ran earlier here. I think this ran along with like HTBX, HTZ. I think this was like all, you know, this same time run, but now it's kind of created a top at 345, you know, on pretty good volume, but it's you know, it's kind of having this trend. So this, I feel like it might not be today, or it might be like, you know, today into the afternoon, but this may be setting up for another breakout over this 345. However, in the morning and into midday, it's probably not going to break out. So, you know, if it, you know, out of the open, if it retests any of these levels, it's probably going to pull back, and then maybe later it can consolidate and keep on going. But so my plan on MVIS would be to, you know, short pops into $3. This is kind of a key level. You can see this has been support here, and this has been resistance here for these bounces. So 3, and then a reclaim of 3 would be my risk, and just kind of leave it alone there, because then it's pretty strong, and they're probably going to want to push it higher and break it out. Good morning, Maurice. The Thriller, thoughts on MDGS? Might have missed what you said. No, it's all right. I just said I was going to go over that one. The MDGS is what I'm going to be going over next. Evan Carr, morning. First time tuning in, watching any pot stocks this morning. Following Harris comments. Did I miss Harris' comments on pot stocks? Wait, I don't know what pot stocks you're referring to. But no, I'm not watching any pot stocks. Those are all the CGC, everything like that. That's all billion market caps, and that is not something I trade. But you know, good to have you. And I trade mainly small caps. And I kind of went over this yesterday, but I mean, you weren't here, so it's okay. Okay, so pots, yeah, pot stocks are popping. Yeah, they are. They are definitely. If we get some lower priced ones, you know, small cap ones, then sure, I would like those. But I'm not going to be trading ACB, CGC, things like that. Okay, so MDGS. IGC, is that one going? IGC. Okay, it's kind of, oh yeah, I saw this a couple days ago when it had this first perk, and then I didn't really do much. Yeah, I'll keep IGC on watch. You know, this is one that I would definitely love a bounce short, you know, into $3. So if this one goes, yeah, thank you actually for mentioning IGC. I'll put that one on watch. But as of right now, it's not doing anything. So, but if this one moves, then sure, I'll like it, but not right now. Maurice, I have a question. Alex, how do you know when a stock is just going to flush at the open? I'll try to answer that towards the end of the live stream. I want to go over my these tickers first. So anyway, MDGS, you know, similar to MVIS, obviously a little bit different of a daily, but anyway, MDGS, similar story to MVIS, you know, just had this nice run, a little bit lower volume than obviously MVIS. However, still created some bag holders, you know, this day, and it's got quite a bit of resistance here in the 3s, and also some, as you can see, these days topped out at like $2, and then, you know, $2 was a pretty decent resistance level here on its first time that it popped up. So basically just bag holder chart, you know, bounce plus gap. It's a weak, obviously weak, you know, gap, you know, at its most it was up what is that, 150 to 250, what, 75% or so. So, you know, in this market 75% gap's not a whole lot, but you know, there's still some meat on the bone. And so, you know, my plan on this one is I started in here and to these levels, and you know, risking off the pre-market high. If it goes over pre-market highs, you know, then I'm going to cut it, and then hopefully we get a nice spike to like $3, maybe 350 to short into. But as of right now, I don't think it's going to do that. It looks like it's rolling over, so I'm looking for maybe a pop back to VWAP to add some. So that's MDGS. And the ones from Watch last night, I'll go over now. Thanks, brand new, and great to hear how you evaluate. Yeah, you're welcome, man, and glad to have you in the room, or in the live stream. OXBR yesterday, I was expecting a lot more from this one, honestly. You know, we had a really solid run on 120 mil or 140 mil, all the way up to $10. You know, and then yesterday I was expecting this to at least go to like $4, like. You know, had what, like 60 mil, and it only went to $3, which it kind of sucked. I missed the trade. I did dabble in a little bit here, and then ended up cutting it as it kept, you know, holding. And then I was like, whatever, I'm done with it. I'm gonna wait till 4, and then it ended up coming back down. But you know, now, you know, it's pretty much failed. So really, any pops to 240s, 260s, and then 275s, I would look for backside. And then age is the one I really want to work, just because there's a huge amount of volume yesterday, and this one can offer a lot. You know, there's still a lot of room, you know, basically back down to like low ones. Maybe not today, probably not today. Yeah, probably not today, but there's still a lot that you can take from it today. So I'm looking for pops to these key levels, which for me are, or just look at support and resistance. It's pretty easy. 2.4, 2.6, 2.8, and then 310. So yeah, that's kind of a wide range, I would say. So you may want to consider you know, taking the first level, if it keeps going, take the second one, and you know, so on until, you know, if it gets to 3, you know, there's probably like a 1% chance it ever gets to like 310. But you know, I'd like quick pops into these levels, scale in once backside confirms. Just pretty much, this one's like an easy short if we kind of get any action into it. But then again, I say easy short, and then this is gonna break out somehow. But just cut it if you're wrong. Don't be stuck in it. Is that? I think that's all. Oh, SNMP keeps going. See, yep. Pretty expected move here. Pretty nice too. I think that's it. I went over OXBR, age, MDGS, MVIS, CEI. Did I? I don't think I went over CEI. So this one is one that I saw pop up yesterday on like pretty good volume, and as you can see on the daily, it's got resistance $2, you know, mid twos, $3, kind of all over the place on good solid volume. Obviously, yesterday's volume was more, and that's why today you're seeing this move, because you know, yesterday traded a lot more volume than any of those previous recent you know, pops or gaps or whatever. So you know, everybody, all these shorts piled in, you know, no reason to cover because, you know, they think it's failed, and then they PR, you know, this morning and squeeze everybody. So does this roll over and go back down? I don't know. What I am hoping for is a squeeze to $2 at least. If it can hold these levels, that would be ideal for me. But if not, you know, if we fail, you you know, I'll probably just end up missing the trade. I don't think you know, this kind of chart where it's kind of starting to curl off the lows, this is where you can see a you know, big move, you know, and it might take a couple days, it might be choppy. So this is probably something I'm gonna avoid if I don't see a move to $2 out of the open, or you know, midday or something like that. And okay, I'm gonna get to some questions because I think I've covered all the, you know, tickers I was looking at. MVIS, not much yet. Okay. Maurice, how do I know if a stock is just going to flush at the open? You are never hold on. You're not gonna know that. I mean, you can predict that type of move, but you never know 100%. But what I would say is you want to look at the big picture first. So, you know, if the big picture says, you know, pre-market we're at, you know, resistance levels and it's a short, then you have a good likelihood that you might get a flush out of the open. I'm not a big fan of, you know, getting a flush straight out of the open, because I would like to see like a morning spike into like let's say a pre-market. Let's just look at MDGS for example. You know, it's kind of rolled over out of the open. I would love to see a push back to these levels. Basically, that's going to trap longs, and then once the move stuffs, they're all going to sell, which is going to create a move that's going to go even lower. But when you see these flushes out of the open, you know, if they're not big flushes, like if they just don't completely fail, then you can get a red to green move. And you see a lot of these, and that's what Roland Wolf loves to play. That's what Tim Bowen loves to play. So I'd rather see a morning spike than a morning flush. Let's see. Hoping for 240, 250, 260 pop on age. Yep. Perfect. Age plus MVIS my top watch. Yep, same here. Alex, did you see how right you were on MXC? No. I actually wanted to keep that on watch so that I could tell what it did. Was it MXC? Can you remind me what I said on MXC? I don't remember. I know there was one that I mentioned, but I forgot what I said and which one it was. I thought, oh yes, right, yes. Short 8 to 10. Yeah, I mean that's super easy stuff. I mean, okay, no, I'm not gonna say that's easy. That's actually kind of tricky because you can't look at intraday levels. You can only see the daily, at least on Stock to Trade. If you look into, maybe if you have some other platform, you can look into the intraday all the way back, you know, back this far, but not on Stocks to Trade. But you know, if you only have the daily levels to look at, you can assume that, you know, where it's closing and kind of where it opened are going to be pretty important levels. You know, probably not the most important, you know, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but you know, those are decent levels, at least, you know, where people that, you know, also can't see the daily on this, you know, because it's kind of too far back, you know, are going to use. So you know, you're going to use this $8 to $10 level maybe, because you know, this wick is a squeeze, so you know, there's unlikely, you know, too many people in this area, but there's going to be a lot of people in this area. So that's what I just used, $8 to $10 level. Kind of not, you know, not the easiest way to identify resistance, but it works. Kind of a lot of I don't like how high it's opening for an overextended gap down. You know, when you're talking about age or MVIS. Or I'm not really sure which one you're referring to. CEI. Oh, yeah, no, this is not an overextended gap down. Just kind of like I said, you don't want, no, this is not an overextended gap down. What I use Trade Zero, Rodrigo. You depend heavily in level 2, Ariel. Yeah, I don't use level 2 in like an insane amount. You know, I've only really started using level 2 like last year, because my first year of trading, I was broke. I was doing this full time. I barely had money to survive, so I couldn't afford an extra, because stocks to trade, the platform's I think 170, and then it's an extra $30 for level 2. So I couldn't afford an extra $30 for level 2, so I just traded off of candles and volume, and that's how I learned to trade. And I'm just, you know, starting to learn how to use level 2. So, you know, I don't really heavily depend on it yet, but I would like to learn how to use it much better. Borrows are expensive. Evan, would love to hear your plug in the chat room. I don't really have time to go over that. If you want, just DM me on Twitter or something, because it's getting close to the open. Preston, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I quit my good paying job, dropped out my senior year in college. You know, I was gonna get a bachelor's degree. Just dropped out, had a little bit of money to kind of get me by, and went in full time, because this is what I really wanted to do. So go, thanks, man. Okay, guys, there's a couple minutes. I want to kind of prepare before the open, so I'll see you guys next week. All right, later.